Paul here from My Perfect Failure, helping you turn your failures into successes and your setbacks into opportunities. Have you ever felt like something was missing in your life, even when life looks perfect on the outside? What if the answers weren't out there, but within you? My guest today, Priya Glikman, knows that feeling all too well. Her search for meaning started at the age of 21 when she left a life that looked picture perfect to travel the world, taken in New York, Thailand and India, discovering ancient practices, somatic therapies and a deeper way of living. In this episode, Priya reveals how to break through the invisible walls we build inside, why real transformation begins with the mind's approval, why positive affirmations aren't a magic fix. Plus she shares how to choose the right meditation for you and why being open to the unknown can completely change your life. This conversation is packed with insights for anyone who's ever wondered if there's more to life than ticking boxes and looking perfect. So if you're ready to explore alignment, self-discovery, and practical tools for real change, press play wherever you get your podcasts.
Who knows what Jay-Z, J.K. Rowling, Bill Gates, and Oprah Winfrey all have in common? Okay, I will tell you then. They have all overcome failure in one shape or form to go on to gain success in their respective careers. Welcome to My Perfect Failure. Join us as we delve into the world of our perfect failures. We will interview, explore, and discuss how our perfect failures can lead us to success. Join us and tune in.
Welcome everybody to another episode of My Perfect Failure. Today, I'm super excited because I have another amazing guest for you. So my guest today, 20 plus years of experience, which includes a groundbreaking methodology for personal and professional development through workshops, retreats, and virtual sessions and guide training programs. She has trained and helped thousands to break through their inner block to rediscover a sense of wholeness and connection to make genuine change in their lives. She's a key contributor to Trilotherapy and a certified Dharma teacher. She has helped thousands break through inner blocks and maintain balance and achieve breakthrough through amazing results. Her work empowers individuals and organizations worldwide. So a very warm welcome to My Perfect Failure, Priya Glikman. How are you, Priya?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today with you.
I'm excited to speak to you again. We've had 2 or 3 conversations now. This is the first time we're going to record. I'm really excited to speak to you, to learn about all the amazing things you've done. Condensed it a little bit there in your bio, but I guess fundamentally, you kind of help people. You help people with the challenges, the inner conflicts we have, and about the blocks we have. And I think for anybody that's listening, I think we all can identify. Sometimes we have these blocks and inner conflicts in lives, but I think very often we kind of don't know how to remove them or shift them, or maybe we think they're meant to be there and we just get on with life. And you've got a wonderful ability to help us uncover what these situations are and how we can remedy them even. I guess where I'm keen to start is maybe for people that don't know Priya, a little bit about Priya, how actually you got into this space where you're helping us all deal with the numerous challenges we encounter.
Of course, it started with my own journey. I felt that You see small kids, or when I was a kid, I was happy to wake up in the morning, excited from the new day and adventures, and everything was beautiful and exciting, right? But there is a time in life it's changed. And I want to think about you guys, like when it changed for you, but I know it changed for me. When I was 4 and my parents divorced, I didn't feel safe in the world. And I had to create all kind of block. Like basically, it's not a block, it's a wall, but the wall is built from blocks, right? And those blocks create a different personality. And I couldn't really analyze it back then like that, but I knew that I'm not happy as I can be. Even though I was a good student, I had a lot of friends. From outside, nobody will notice that something is wrong. But inside, I felt heavy. I felt sad sometimes. And I went by the book. I went to college. I learned finance, had great grades. But somehow, I had a big questions about, is this life? I looked at people around me. I saw that are not happy. I was always drawn to talk to old people, religious people, artists, people with addictions. I lived in Tel Aviv, that is a very busy city, in the midst of Tel Aviv. And after school, I went with my friends, sitting in a cafe or in a park and really interviewing, basically. I didn't call it like that, but interviewing people. That there was an area in Tel Aviv that was mixed between artists, like famous Israeli artists, religious people, with everything, and some people that lived in the park. So it was a really interesting mix. So for me, the most, like the best hobby that I had is to sit and ask people questions about their life, their dreams, their, traumas. And I was only a teenager. And I think I had this calling in a way, or I was drawn to this more than anything else. So I had this question that college couldn't answer, right? And I just after college I left Israel, and I started a 10 years journey in the world. And yeah, I think it was an unconscious decision. I didn't think, like, people ask me, why do you do that? My friend just continued to work, and I had a lot of job opportunities after college. Um, and I had even a small business of like producing commercial that somebody opened for me. So everything was okay. So why to leave? It's because I wasn't settled. I wasn't happy in a way. And people ask me, why do you leave? Why do you start this journey? Because I'm the only one that did it from the group of my friends, the core friends. And I said, I want to look for another profession. This is my mind answered, right?
And how old were you around this time? Sorry,
I was I was 24.
24. Okay.
Even less. No, sorry. I was 21. 21.
Okay.
21, and I left to New York. I left to New York just to open my mind, and I didn't find the answer there. But then I left to India, Thailand, Greece. I was really traveling between teacher and to teacher, method to method. I learned a lot of things that I'm using today with other people.
Yeah. So when you started, I guess there's a few questions that come to mind. One is, when you decided that you were going to travel, and I guess you had family and friends, I think you mentioned, that were maybe questioning that. Was your inner feeling that you needed to find what maybe the block? I'm not sure if you had I'm not sure at that point if you'd crystallized what you needed to find, but I guess, were you drawn? Was the strength of you being drawn away? Did that override maybe other people's, not maybe concerns or maybe confusion about you leaving, their beloved Priya, leaving and going to different countries?
Yes, people are really concerned, especially my dad and my friends, and they didn't understand that. If I'm looking back, for me now I can really explain why. From outside, everything was perfect. I had a boyfriend, I had a dog, good grades, great opportunities at work, and small business. But inside, I was very hard with myself. I was very perfectionist. I was judging myself, criticizing myself, stressing myself, a lot of stress. comparing, and I was miserable. I didn't dance freely. I didn't cry freely. Nobody really knew. This is the thing, that I think I had a mask of somebody smiling, saying, "Hey, I have a great life, and look, I have a great life," right? And not many people knew about what I'm going through. So there was a separation, and I think this is the wall, right? The blocks that are separating us between the external to internal. So my journey was internal, and I think when I was so young, it was hard for me to explain and even to understand. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting because I'm thinking about you and I'm thinking about people in general. And what's fascinating about you is that you decided that you needed to do something because I think very often, I think sometimes we can accept that inner discomfort because we don't know how to maybe do anything about it. And I guess that's what I know you help. We're going to get into how you support your clients and so forth in a second. So when you decided that you needed to travel to really find out what was going on, did you know what you were looking for, firstly? And then secondly, you started to get into these different modalities and so forth. Had you researched that, or did these organically come to you? I know you looked at there's Zen and there's Buddhism and there's different things that you engaged with.
It's a good question, because I started transcendental meditation when I was 17 to help me with all the tests and the exams in high school. I did martial arts since I was 12. Around 12, I started martial art, Kung Fu, and Kung Fu is not only the physical, it's a lot of meditation, guided meditation, and it's really deep. And I had this calling, to I was open to try all kind of practices. Even though my parents are, I don't, so it's hard for me even to understand what called me to that. But I tried many things. Of course, acupuncture was part of my life. So this was the beginning, but then I dropped it when I started college. I was very mindy, I call it, going with suits more and short hair, more a businesswoman, thinking, and I was really good in math and numbers. So it also my strength. It was my strength. And then I think I forgot in a way, I went into another track. The India thing. So when I realized that I want to leave, and there wasn't a specific moment that was like, oh, like, enlightened, like enlightened moment that I will tell you about. But I started with India because India was always my dream. And this, I really don't know why and how, but when I was 12, in Israel, 12 is a bat mitzvah in the Jewish tradition. So it's a very important age. So my father asked me, do you want like a big celebration, with all the family? And it's like, or you want to travel to any country you want in the world with me? And I said, no, I don't want any dinner, things like that, or celebration in a fancy place. I want to travel. And he said, you can choose any country. And I said, I want India. And I don't know why. I mean, it was back then, I didn't hear about people traveling or something, but I really wanted to go to India. And then he told me, no, India, I was young. So now I'm 48. So I was 12. So wasn't so popular. And he was doing research and he said, no, I will not take you to India. It's not healthy, vaccines, and you'll need to take extras. And I don't feel safe. I don't know why. But I can take you to South Africa. So we went to the safari in a very organized trip. It didn't feel safe, probably. So the India thing was there, but I forgot about it again. And when the moment came to me that I felt I'm not going to continue, the program as expected from me, India was my first choice. It was very clear. I didn't even need to think about it.
Yeah, sometimes we have people talk about intuition a lot, but sometimes we have something that just feels right. Was that the kind of feeling you had about India? It just felt like it's clear, it's obvious to you, but I guess parents always have that sense of fear for their children. So I guess for your dad, it was a natural instinct to think, I don't want my daughter going to India because I don't know anything about it at this point. And admittedly, when you were looking at it, you were young, with totally different country, different continent. He probably had his concerns just because you were a young girl at that time.
But then I traveled alone to India.
How long after?
So 12, it was the idea about India, and 21, I left.
Okay, 21.
Yeah, so listen to your kids, guys. In the end, they will get it from another door. But India, I have a really special connection to India. I have many Indians friends. I love the food, the colors, the spices. When I landed in India in Bombay first time, I felt I'm home. I mean, I have a really, my name is Indian. I have a really deep connection to India. Even, some people land and they don't like it. It's intense. But I felt so happy. So something already shifted when I landed in India. And I just felt that I didn't come with an idea where to go, now for your question. Shachar, it's my second dad that raised me since I was 10. He came to me to India for the first 2 weeks. So my mind told me, okay, you don't know where to go. You start from the south and then you go all the way up. So this was my mind. So we started in the south in Karnataka and we stayed there. And slowly I went up and traveled. He left me after 2 weeks in Pune. And I just, life showed me the way.
So when you arrived in India, you said that you settled in one part and then you traveled a different part. Was there a plan in terms of what were you looking for something? Was it purely a trip of discovery?
Totally. When people sometimes write me, I want to go to India, where to start or what to do, or do you have, and I don't want to, I don't think that my plan is good for everyone. I think India is very powerful. And in general, traveling, there is a reason why you meet this person or the other. And things are changing around the world. There is events and festivals and teachers are coming and going. You cannot really plan it too well. It's good to decide where to land and to start and to have a place for the first few days, but then to stay open. And this is part of traveling, right? And in life in general, we're traveling all the time. We want to stay open. If we are not open and we are fixed, even if in our daily life, we miss so many things, so many opportunities and doors and people that we meant to meet and things we meant to do. So in general, I think that I have this part within me that gives a lot of weight for the unknown.
So when you settled in India and you were on this discovery mission, what was going on? Were there things that became apparent to you? Did you discover? Well, I guess were some of the gaps that you had, were some of those being filled? Were you getting moments of clarity?
Yes, in India, first of all, I discovered all the somatic work. Until then, I did a lot of. I had a therapist since I was 4, because my parents divorced. So I went to therapy, traditional, and I liked it to process my problems. But I felt that after an hour of session, I feel better, but the suffering will come back. I had this joke that. And I told it to my therapist that I really loved, and he was with me for many years. I was in his funeral also. He died. That I feel better after sharing for 1 hour, but then I'm walking, and after 2 blocks, I'm coming back to be myself, like the same. So I knew it's not a long-term solution. And I did transcendental meditation that is more the mind, repeating a mantra. And I did Kung Fu that is very disciplined. You need to wake up really early and exercise a lot. And in India, I think I learned how to connect to my heart and to my body, a lot of somatic work that I bring to my student today, like breath work, catharsis breath work, Sufi wheeling, trust exercise. It's more like there's a whole world I discovered there that is working with the unconscious, with the heart, how to cry freely, how to be angry, put boundaries, to paint, all the arts. This is so India is more about that.
Yeah. So when you say for people listening that I think are intrigued by this and some that maybe they're thinking I would love to maybe have some of these connections. So when you connect maybe heart to body, is that is that techniques that you're using? Is it a feeling you get? initially in those early days, are you able to explain what was going on there, or was it more of a natural thing?
It was a natural thing, but then in the end, when I started to work with people and my teacher said, okay, you need to start helping people, there is a method that I like. The mindset journey is all the tools that help me, right? And it's in a way, I think that one of the most powerful session, it's more therapy, is the relationship between the mind and the heart, because the blocks, I don't call it blocks even. It's like the wall is protecting us, and we had to be protected, and we had to protect ourselves. If you think about your journey, there was a moment in time you didn't feel safe. Couldn't trust others. You couldn't trust yourself. You are young. And then you had to protect yourself and to create these blocks that people will not go through and you will not get hurt anymore. So the mind was created, and each person different times, maybe different reasons. Parents divorce, you move a country, something at school, bullying, you understand things about life. I don't know. There are many reasons, and kids are very soft. When it's happening, and it can happen anytime, even some people it happen in the age of 20 and they're lucky, and some people earlier, the mind becomes strong and the heart is suppressed, and we lose touch with ourselves. We lose freedom to be confident, to be at ease, to look at people's eyes, to feel at home, to feel safe, and to be playful and silly, and spontaneous, and to express feeling freely. We lose freedom, each person different, personality. And what I do is, first of all, the first thing you need to do is to get the approval of the mind. Because again, those blocks are there for a reason. And so the first thing I do with people is, first of all, that they'll understand their story, and then do you allow yourself to open up? Do you feel now it's the right time for you? Do you feel safe enough to do the work? Because the real work is not easy, and it will bring you to a very vulnerable place for a while, right? So the mind needs to first to give the approval. And it's beautiful because you discover that under the mask of, the policeman or the jailer or the strict, parent, the mask that we hold, there is a fearful child. It's all based on fear. And this child wants to also to get support. So when you start to support your mind that criticizes you, that belittle you, that tell you that you're confused or not good enough, this mind, right? That usually we don't like so much. But we start to help this part of us that needs help. Then we can do the somatic work. And the somatic work I learned in India and in Greece is more about, it's work with no words, it's more with the body. And I do it online a lot and also in person in retreats. So this work is available and it's beautiful.
Okay, fantastic. I was just thinking about what you said around, and we'll put links and everything on the show notes so people are keen to explore some of this work. It'd be easy for them to engage with services and get in contact with you. When you talk about the mind as well, and I think it's something that I can identify with, where maybe we don't give ourselves maybe the kindest messages about, it could be about relationships, it could be about things that we haven't done to maybe the best of our abilities in our mind, or maybe things that we just haven't done full stop because we don't think we're good enough. Are these some of the, I know you used another word other than blocks, I forget what the word was, but are these some of the challenges that the mind can have where it's maybe given us messages that aren't probably the most helpful?
Yeah, you talk about like positive affirmation that we can do. And even if you don't believe that, you say it and you try to be positive to yourself until it's changed. For example, if you have a child or, your friend is going to, a day or you have an exam or a job interview and you say, you're not good enough, you're a failure, but good luck. It will not really work well, right? So good messages for sure will help. But this is the surface level because we can change the way we think. But still, if there is fear to be successful, you'll fail. So there is why the mind that wants to be successful, want to achieve, want financial security, why the mind will do that and hurt your, your success by belittling or doubting. It doesn't make sense. The reason is fear to be out there, to get hurt, right? Because if you are successful, you're out there, you're confident, you're exposed. And maybe you'll get hurt. Maybe you got hurt at school in first grade or fourth grade. Maybe you got hurt from a woman or girl that said, they didn't want you, right? Or from a parent that when you look at the mirror, you felt you're a failure or not good enough, or maybe he's better, in fixing things around the house. So basically, we don't want to be there and feel the pain again. So even if you use positive affirmation, it's only like a plaster, a bandage. It will not really still be the deep solution. And the deep solution is to, first of all, understand that the fear is there for a reason. It was justified as a child. To release the pain, because there is still pain. So if you'll get hurt, let's say we went through trauma and you got hurt, and you hurt people were belittling you, right? Or something happened that hurt you. So the wound is there. And the mind, the protector, is trying to prevent you from feeling the pain again. So you don't want to do a lot. If you'll do a lot, in the end, you'll get hurt, right? If you'll have a relationship, you'll get hurt because relationships are complicated, for example. So it's trying to limit you, not to, to limit the possibilities to get hurt. But if we imagine that we heal this one, that we release the pain, that we forgive, we release really deep work of emotion. You have nothing to protect. So also you don't have fear that somebody will touch the wound. So I think the work needs to be deeper, of healing your pain body, becoming stronger, and then changing the mindset. Changing the mindset is the easy part.
It's fascinating what you do, because there could be any number of different scenarios in our life or situations in our lives where we might think that we're protecting ourselves, but ultimately we're not able to move forward because we're not doing this inner work for, because I wrote down that something around, we need to do the inner work and then we need to engage with the external actions, something along those lines. But it's just, the mind boggles really, because I'm sure everybody that listens to this can think about different situations in their lives where maybe they haven't moved forward with a situation because of some fear, because of, it could be a past relationship that hasn't worked. It could be maybe a job where they were made redundant. It could be any number of different scenarios, and we never go there ever again. We never confront that situation. I guess if we can't and we don't confront situations because of fear, ultimately we're not able to move forward in that particular area of our lives. And to me, why it's fascinating, because unless people work with somebody like you, they're not able to realize some of their passions that exist, that are there, but they will never go there because we almost suppress who we really are.
Exactly. And if you suppress, the thing is that with the emotions is there is a spectrum of emotion, right? Anger, sadness, pain, and then joy, purpose, connection, happiness. If you limit this because you're afraid to feel your, those emotions, you limit also this. Anger and passion are connected. We need to be alive, You don't see a numb person being excited, about life and finding the purpose. If I speak like that, it's like we are alive. So why not to feel all the spectrum of emotions? Now, I work also, my work is a lot with cooperation and CEOs and people that look very work also in high tech and is using their mind. We're not against that. And the mind can be very creative. But I think the ingredients that we need in order to do the work, and you see it with kids, with small kids, are there is this, I'm going to do that. I'm afraid, but I will do that. I remember me being with my kids in high jump. It's a trampoline park, and there was a place to jump from. So it's like, what is to be courageous? Who will jump? It's not that the kids will not feel fear. Everybody will feel fear to jump. It's the first time. It's very high, right? but I feel fear, but I will do it anyway. And the kids are adventurous; they're happy to try new things, and until something happens, and then we lose the connection with these feelings. But I think that people are really like believe in themselves in a way. I will feel fear. I will do it. I will try it. I will try the practice all the way. I also will be diligent and meditate, because you need to be diligent. So we need some ingredients for that, in order to really get, to the final line. But we can start slowly. First of all, to read spiritual books, to read about the personalities. We can really upgrade personalities. We can change. People change, and it's so beautiful. If you see friends or colleagues and you say, oh, I want also a little bit from that. It's like we are making a stew. I want this spice. I see, I love. Why not? Right? Why you are less? No, you are not less. The potential is huge. The Buddha said that everything you will put your 1% in and your attention, you can be successful. You can do anything you want as a human being. Yeah, you received gifts. So some people are more athletic, right? Physically strong. Some people are more mentally developed. Some people emotionally. But we can do it. We have so much potential. But when we are numb, we cannot do that. My high school teacher said she's not like, they could see I can do better, but I was suppressed. So I don't know how to translate to English, but every year, you get like notes from the, your
report.
What?
Report.
The report every year the teacher wrote she's not using their full potential, right? I remember that it was like a mantra. Why not? Because I was afraid, I was numb, I was stuck. I couldn't use my full potential.
So when you're working with clients and people and they come to you because they need your help, do clients, I guess there's a couple of things. Do clients need to be honest with themselves and with you about why they're coming? The reason I asked the question, because I'm just wondering if it's difficult for them to really uncover what they're looking for, whether it's their gifts, whether it's their true gifts, whether it's their purpose, whether it's their passion, if they don't come or approach the situation with the right attitude and commitment to finding that, I guess, to engage in where the blocks that they maybe think that exist for them.
So yeah, I think that my personality is very like, it's more you choose a teacher according to your personality. So I don't think I'm better than other teachers, and I think that all the paths in the end will, get to the top of the mountain, to the place with no shade, and there are many paths. And I think a person would choose a teacher and a method according to their personality. So I'm very honest with people. So they don't need to come honest, but I will be honest, and if they will like it, they will stay. Right? Yeah. For example, I had a session this morning, and this guy is Japanese. He's great. I love him. But he's talking a lot about his wife, and it came about relationships. And the job, he already had a startup, he sold, he was successful, but his marriage is falling apart, right? And when he talks about her, I don't know, like every time he says something, yes, different, he's moving, he's like more patronizing in his body a little bit, like, but I told her that. And this time, after a few sessions, I told him, I need to tell you something, and I want to ask you, do you think you're better than your wife? And he was like, maybe a part of me, how do you know? And I said, you have a tone of voice that's changed when you talk about specific thing. And if you use this tone of voice with her, she will be so angry, and she is angry, because it's not a big change that people will notice, but we are sitting in a room and I'm like a mirror, a clear mirror, and I can see the shift of the way you hold his body and the way. And we work with that. So not everybody are able to hear those things without getting offended, right? But I feel that me as a student, I want to receive mirrors from my teachers. I didn't want, I want to know more. And it's hard to see ourselves. Many times it's hard for us to see ourselves. So I will be the one that will tell you, you have, something here you need to clean, or here, I will be the one, you have something between your teeth. Some people don't say, why not? It will be helpful. So this is my personality and the way I teach, and it's not good for everyone, but I really feel that the people that are willing to hear and to learn about themselves is more in a fast-paced rhythm, like it.
Yeah, I can imagine that so many of us must live. I don't know what your thoughts on this are actually. I can imagine there's lots of us that live with, well, we're not entirely fulfilled. Maybe this is more about me than others, but I'm just thinking about how many of us tackle every sphere of our lives, just in terms, it could be relationships, it could be finance, it could be jobs, it could be just maybe relationships with our friends. And the reason I say this is because the skills that you have are very specific about helping us uncover different challenges that we might experience. And I think there's a lot of us, the majority, I would say, I haven't done any research on this, but I'm purely guessing here, but I think the majority of us don't have your skill set. So there will be these things that exist in our life that we don't confront. Maybe confront's not the best word, but we don't engage. And I don't think we engage them because we don't know how to. We don't even know that. I think there's potentially sometimes, unless you have that awareness, i.e., that you engage with your material, people like you may think that the life that we're living now, or the experiences that we feel, are natural. When I say natural, they're kind of locked in. That this is my life. This is how I feel. I don't know what you think about that. I might be rambling a bit, but hopefully you can pick through the bones of that.
Yeah. I have a lot to say. First of all, about me being good in my job, I'm I'm doing it for 25 years. I think any profession that you do for a long time and you care, you invest, you research, you learn, you are going deep for 25 years, you'll be good at. And this is also my purpose as also since I was a child. So I think that I have a lot of things I have no idea about, and I know, the areas in life I need support in, and I don't know how, to create a beautiful garden and which plant to plant in each season. I always love to learn new things. So I'm good in my profession because I do it for many years and every day and many hours, and this is also my hobby, and this is the books I read, and so it's just a long time. People can come also depressed. It's not that you need to come with energy to do the work. Many people are depressed. It's hard for them to find even the purpose to wake up in the morning. Most of the people are okay in most of the areas in life, but one is not working for them. But we need this door. We need something not to work. So if you are good financially, you are secured, and you are great, you have a great business, so your relationship with your partner, or you cannot find love. If love is perfect, relationships are perfect, and you have good friends and good partners, so maybe you work, or maybe the body, maybe you are sick. So we need a door, and each of us have this door in life, because I really believe we are here to learn and to evolve, if you want it or not, by the way. So some people do it with awareness and consciousness, and some people just are here and they work, and they have so many challenges in one area, but they don't really cultivate the garden, but they just, being challenged, and then, after 8 years, 85, they die, and maybe they're coming again or not. Depends what you believe. So when I see a challenge, I'm happy about that. The way I wanted to look at it is, okay, what should I learn? How can I evolve? This is the way I see that. And
Really,
not, oh, poor me, I have, I'm not successful, or, I failed, or I divorced, or poor me. No,
I love that, by the way.
yeah, to be a victim, it's a problem. This is a really big problem. I think the worst students are people that are victimizing themselves, or people that are really stubborn
Okay.
and think they know everything. But other than that, we can also work with that. And I like stubborn people because I'm also very strong. So we can, brainstorm together. But other than that, it's beautiful. I mean, also have new ideas. I COVID hit and I moved 100% to Zoom, right? It was very strange to me. because I love the meeting one-on-one, to make you a cup of tea and to hug and to touch, you know, and to work and look, you know, it's something intimate. And I know I'm really good in creating environment, very special one. I do it in the retreats. But suddenly COVID, and I have this laptop and I have a screen, and it was really strange. It took me a few weeks to know how to get to people, to emotions through screens. And then 1% was really successful. A lot of courses, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 8 weeks courses, long courses, short courses. And then I continued, COVID stopped. I added in-person things, but I continue Zoom. People don't want to come for 8 weeks every week in the same time over Zoom. They want connection. So I was meditating always why it's not working. People don't want it anymore. So now I'm going to open an online membership that you can come and drop into somatic exercise, all kind of meditations or lectures. You don't need to commit. People, they don't want, since COVID, they don't like to commit. They want more freedom. They book in last moment, and it's great. So why I need to ask them to book themselves 12 weeks in advance, right? For every week the same time. So we're evolving and changing, but instead of saying, oh, this program failed, how come it failed? It was so successful. You say, oh, this program is not the right fit right now, the 12 weeks. We need to find something else. So there is beauty and creativity in seeing challenges and grow. And it's the same with cancer. I work a lot with people that got sick or problem in relationships, just to see it as an opportunity to explore something new.
I love that analogy as well, because I think that's a lovely skill and ability to have, where we can almost repurpose the challenges, because we're going to experience challenges. They happen routinely. It's kind of like why this podcast exists, My Perfect Failure, around challenges that we all experience, and that sometimes the inability to view setbacks or challenges as opportunities, and you clearly do that. How were you able to harness that ability to reposition difficult moments as opportunities? And are you doing something? Is it for you now? Is it like a normal reflex, or is it part of your process of just evaluation?
Yes. First of all, it was a process. I took life very hard. Like, I didn't even go to an exam in high school that I didn't know I will get 100 points. Imagine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If I
I would have
wasn't
gone to any.
ready. What?
I would have gone to any.
No, for me, if I felt I'm not ready, my mind said, you're not ready, you're not going even. I don't want to fail.
Wow.
I was so afraid of failure. So I'm coming from a really extreme place, right? Today I don't call it failure or success. You know, I don't have this even concept in my mind of like hierarchy, or this is better than this, or he is better than him, or I'm better than my mind is not working like that. I don't know how, I don't know exactly. I didn't think about when was the point it changed. I had a lot of stress from, presentation, from if I had to give a presentation in college, I was holding a paper. It was like this.
Yeah, I think we've all been there
for days and weeks. And I think I realized, first of all, when you prepare a lot, you cannot do a lot. Because if you prepare, it takes time. So you cannot really be successful. You need to do things faster and trust. And some will work, some will not. And this is already very scary. But I really worked with a lot of, working with the parts that are younger, that are stressed and afraid. To them, it's like we have this part inside us is very young and really scared to do things. But if this part will lead our life, will not do much, or everything we'll do will take extra energy. So it's about trusting yourself, but not yourself, your child inside, your younger part, not the fear. It's really trusting the self that is more ancient, more mature, and we all have this self. And this is why the meditation, I don't believe, and this 1%, I don't believe people can change, really changing the personality that is strong and deep without daily practice. And I'm sorry I'm saying that, because it's hard to practice daily. And and we don't practice for many reasons, because the mind don't understand maybe the benefits, because we want to do, because it's not comfortable, because we want to do anything else by that. And I relate to this feeling, not today, but in the beginning first few years, I didn't like to practice, but it doesn't make sense. Anything you want to be good at, you need to work for. So if you go to an amazing teacher once a week for 1 hour, why do you think it's enough? The practice can be many practices. It doesn't mean to be Zazen, the practice that I chose. The practice can change from period to period. Some people already practice and they don't know. But we need to bring awareness into our life. If not, how it can change.
Yeah. So when you say, there's a couple of things that come to mind. So practice, can it be different things for different people? So practice, is it meditation? Is it doing breath work? Does it really depend on who we are and our situation?
This is the big question. I have a 1 hour class I teach about which meditation to choose. There are hundreds of meditations. And meditation can be also walking, can be climbing, in the climbing gym, can be dancing, and can be Zen. It's not that only, okay, let's all practice one. It's not true at all. So I cannot teach this class now, but I think I can encapsulate it and said, choose an uncomfortable practice. Because when you are comfortable with something, you already attain it.
Okay.
Right? Let's say somebody is really diligent and very mindy. It's easy for them to sit Vipassana 45 minutes, because anyway, they're like soldiers. So they will sit twice a day for 45 minutes. But if you let them dance freely, right, they will shrink. Or if you go into somatic, to express sadness or be vulnerable, they don't know how to do that. Or if somebody is too emotional or too dramatic, and there is no structure, maybe sitting and doing nothing will be good for them. So don't choose a practice you're comfortable with. If you have a practice you're comfortable with, you can continue to do it, but always add something that is challenging you, because we grow through challenge, right? And so also in the practice imply this important wisdom that we grow through challenge.
Okay. So when we do a meditation or an exercise and we decided we're going to do that daily, when we decide we're going to do that, do we need to have clarified in our head or with, maybe yourself, what the challenge is or what our problem is? So say mine could be the fear of failure, the fear of committing because of I don't want to fail. Does that need to have been clarified before so if I say to myself, Priya, I'm going to do the weekly or the exercises with you a couple of times a week, but when I'm not with you, I'm going to be doing maybe walking meditation or doing something that I'm uncomfortable with.
The way I choose meditation, first of all, I always give to anybody that wants 15 minutes discovery call with me.
Okay.
And it will be probably, we'll send this info. And then I'm trying, it's not long, 15 minutes is short time, but I'm trying to understand inside, if we separate ourselves to mind and heart, who is leading your life more, right? Your rational part or your emotional part? So I have basically I'm checking if your mind is the boss and is strong and your heart is suppressed and it's hard for you to cry and to dance and to be and to put boundaries and you're not connected to your anger, I will give you more emotional practices, and we can talk about that and how to build the practice more emotional. And if I feel that the person is going through something now and is very emotional and scattered, it's hard for him to hold a job and to go to work and to maintain life, or there is too much emotion. I don't feel, I don't want, this part will lead their life. I need to bring them something more disciplined, the opposite that they don't like, really. But to find something more disciplined, like reciting a mantra, counting breath, like more, and if I feel that people already did the emotional work and they're quite clean as much as you can be, I'll give them Zazen, that I think it's the hardest form of meditation, of sitting 30 minutes doing nothing. Because if you sit in the beginning doing nothing, you will be attacked by a lot of emotion and thoughts, and it's very hard.
Okay. Yeah.
So you need something to do, or to do, to label the thoughts, or to count breath, or to know how to tune into your emotional parts. You need something to do because it's not easy to sit. But the goal for me is always to get to a silent meditation, a mindful meditation, that you don't need to use any tool or sutra or mantra, that you can just sit with yourself.
Oh, really?
Then you learn how to love yourself, and you're comfortable with yourself. And then it's really easy to cultivate life. Everything will change.
Okay. So how do we know? I've written this down. So how do we know when our life is more aligned? Are there any signs, and it could be the reverse? How do we know when we're not living in alignment? Are there any signs? Because I'm just thinking for people again who are listening, who may be thinking, well, there's a couple of things, there's a couple of thoughts I have about me, but is that meant, is this normal? Or maybe it's not. Maybe there is a lack of alignment, or they are in alignment.
So we'll talk about myself. I think it's a good example. Basically, we move the country. There is the visa issue when you move a country, right? So every few years you wait for a visa. You don't know if you'll get or not, or which business to open, or everything. It's like a question. When you have possibilities, you need to choose. How do you choose? And I think the sign that you receive from life, from universe, existence, Allah, the great spirit, the way you want to call it, God, is more like, is it going well or not, right? Is it successful or not? And if it's not, it means maybe change is needed. If you don't get a visa and the door is closed, so there is a reason for that. You'll get another door will open. But not to take it again if we are too fixed about our plan, what we want, I, my, me. So we are not open to life. You are not doing this life alone. You have a partner. That the unknown is your partner. So the unknown is carrying you, or you trust the unknown. This is really important if you want to manifest in life. If you don't trust the unknown, you will have a lot of anxiety and stress, and you'll think you need to control everything. But you cannot control everything. There is always the unknown. So I think the relationship with more like, again, taking those challenges, those blocks, those failures as an opportunity, and look, because of your what happened to you, you created this amazing podcast. You found a really creative solution. Maybe this podcast wouldn't be here if not, if those things wouldn't happen. So that's what I see in life, and I work with people for enough time also to see it in other people's life. When somebody called me and tell me, oh, I was fired at work, I say, congratulations. How long you want to leave this job? And not, oh, poor you, because, there is a reason things are happening. There is a reason. Sometimes it's something you want. Sometimes it's something that's trying to teach you something about your ego, about your work that you need to do that is beyond just the job. So I see, and I can show people, I'm very good in showing people the possibilities.
Okay. Do challenges or setbacks or failures, I don't even like the word failure because I just think it's misleading, it's unhelpful. But do they leave clues? Are they there to give us opportunities that exist if we're willing to do the work, which is embrace, like you talked about when the pandemic happened and your business was more in person. Some people probably who had businesses that were in person may have thought, this business is over, and they may have be doing something else now because they didn't maybe embrace it as, okay, let's think about what I can do to deliver the same type of service, but in a different format.
Also, we lost a big business. We moved here a year before COVID, and we bought a beautiful business, a big one that is open for 22 years to bring my work. We partner up, we invest all our money there. And then COVID hit and we had to close the physical business.
Wow.
It was more yoga studio, massage, body work, and all, acupuncture. So basically it was a big, it was hard. But again, I'm not seeing life like that. I'm saying, okay, it happened. Everything is gone. Now what? Let's see. And I have energy. I have the same energy. Where the energy needs to go.
I love this. This is amazing.
Yeah. And small business was really hit hard with the COVID. So I'm one of them, really big time. And now we open a few weeks ago, so many years after, we opened the business again in another location, with acupuncture and body work in San Francisco, and massages, and also my work. I do trainings every year. So people I train are working here. So, and it was a really challenging journey. I mean, imagine with 2 kids here in a new country, you put everything in this business, and then you need to close on Wednesday. I remember the day that I gave the last session on Tuesday evening. So, but this is the thing, I think that when you cultivate, and again, I didn't have it before, okay? I didn't have this gift. So it's not something I was born with or I was gifted. But when you really create this relationship with yourself, that first you trust yourself, and this is, I think, the core of the work, that we learn to trust ourselves and to trust life, that, the universe is on your side, so you don't, it will not, you don't take it as a victim or poor me or why it happened to me, or it's not a why it happened. It's like, why it happened, it's the tone of voice, the way of to take life. And I think I help people to find this energy of curiosity. Let's explore that together. It's interesting. This is why we are here.
So can I ask a quick question around energy? So if you say in a scenario that say you're looking to say you've got 2 options, say you're looking to do, I don't know, start 2 businesses, and you've got they're both sort of in that ballpark of what you're interested in, but one gives you positive energy and one maybe it doesn't, although it's quite cool, it's not giving you that quite the energy that the other one is. Do you lean into the one where it's radiating you and it's giving you that vibe, that energy, even if they're pretty similar?
So sometimes things that gives you energy will not pay your rent.
Yeah.
So many people have 2, like I call it like a job for the mind, job for the heart. For example, people come for my training every year, right, to learn my work. And they want to work with people, but they have a job or they have a business of their own, and they have kids to send to college, right? So I'm not saying choose only to be in your zone, enjoy. Keep that for the bread, right, and butter. Keep that. You invest in it for so many years. You're good in that. And then let's add something for your heart.
Okay.
And balance the 2. Of course, if it's somebody young that didn't choose, profession yet, and we together we can explore why they are here, what are the gifts, what is the purpose, and then everything is open. But we also want to connect to reality. If somebody have a family already, cannot just bye, I'm going to travel in India and I'm going to do meditation all day and to work with people. I have a few people like that. 2 of them are working in the center. One have a startup. And the other, and he's working once a week with people, and the other has a job and he has 2 kids. One is going to college now, and he's working with people once a week. So once a week, after is from 5 to 9, he will work with people. And the other guy, because he has his own business, he can do the whole Fridays. He will work with people, and it will give him a lot of energy for his soul and connection with people, but he will not just drop everything, right?
Yeah, it's fascinating talking to you. I feel like when I talk to you that there's life's plentiful. Because you can talk to some people where you you can have certain conversations with some people, and I'm sure we all know people, or maybe we've worked with people in the past, and they sap the energy from you because it's problem. When you talk to you, it's the opposite. It's almost like there's a way. Obviously you've got all these different tools that we're able to help us with your clients and so forth. But to me, that's great because it's nice to know, comforting to know, inspiring to know that regardless of where we are, we frame it how we view that situation and we use some of these tools. The power is within.
Exactly. I met 2 women last week both with breast cancer. And you see the difference in the mentality. One is a victim. She's not doing a lot. She doesn't have energy to her kids, negative thoughts, pessimism. And the other is saying, after you finish with, the treatments that are taking a lot of energy, both are in the same place in the journey of taking care of the body already and doing the surgery and everything. But the other is more like I've made so many changes. I understand, what happened to me, and I made so many changes already, and I'm open to learn more. So I think if you don't have this mindset of, so come to me or to other people, that you hear about, that will inspire you just to change the way you think about things. This is the beginning, that we can, it's so beautiful. And I'm excited about that. I'm doing it for so many years, and I'm still excited about that, the riddle, why it's happened to me, what I need to learn, how to move to the next step, and let's do it together. Community is important. You cannot do it alone. You can do it alone, but it's pretty lonely. I think when you do this work, it's nice to have talks like that, community, people also that will inspire you, and people that you can inspire, and to talk about your work and journey. Community is needed for work, for inner work.
I'm conscious of your time, so we'll probably finish up with a couple of questions, and you kindly or agreed to offer to do a meditation. So for people, firstly, I want to ask, thank you for your time today. I could literally listen to you all day, because the energy, the service, the way that you serve people, the way that you make life plentiful, that there's always an opportunity. And I think particularly in 2025, where life is definitely more challenging for different reasons, that the type of your outlook and the way that you support your clients, your community, is really special. So it was great to have you on the podcast today. So for people who want to get in contact with you, maybe they want to book a call, maybe they want to find out about retreats, maybe they want to find out about classes, what's the best way for people to contact you?
Yeah, I think the website, priyaglikman.com. And then in the website, you can read about the retreat and the training programs. And then there are 15 minutes link. I cannot meet many people. I'm going to stop it soon, I think, but it's still there, and you can meet me, and we can, I like to always love to meet new people. But I think in the website, it's clear enough, to know what I offer. I do a lot of cooperation retreats also. I love retreats. Retreat is it's a great gift, because it's usually half a day or 3 days or 2 days, and people can really take I feel like I'm a bus driver, right? So I'm taking the people for a bus ride, and I start gradually, and we go deeper in a really short time. And it's beautiful. So you can find everything in my website.
Okay, amazing. And you do that. So the retreats, are they in, I know that you're based in San Francisco, so would they be in that area?
I do it in the Bay Area, sometimes in Santa Cruz. I do cooperation. It depends of where it is. We can fly also for cooperation retreats. So it's more tailor-made. Yeah.
That's flexible. Okay, lovely. Okay. So I'll put a link in the show notes. Easy for people to get in contact you for any. Your website is amazing. There's lots of different things on there, so people can have a little explore and see what suits them best. And okay, so a recurring question. I gave you short notice on this, so apologies. But if you could invite the inspirational people for dinner, they can be a liable path. Who might you invite?
So first of all, the first person I'll invite is you.
Yes. Yes. I'm in.
I have to say, you are inspiring me. I don't know. I also feel we can talk for hours, and I'm very curious.
We have already.
Yeah, like, and I feel that also we can create things together. Yeah. And I have somehow I'm creating with you. I answer things that I didn't, in a way I didn't answer for years. So new answers came. So I'm very interested to bring you for dinner. For sure, I will bring Zen Master Nisijima Roshi. He's not in his body anymore, but I love Zen. I appreciate Zen. I think it's a very intelligent path. In Zen, you can find a lot of koans, and it's like riddles, and I love riddles. And Zen masters are interesting people. So I love that. And the third person, I'm debating somebody from my family. My husband is amazing, by the way, and he's inspiring me. I got those 3 people in my life, my 2 kids that we didn't talk about a lot, and my husband for a reason. I feel the three of them, one of them I want to take everywhere with me. And they're different. I
Yeah.
mean, my daughter is very fun and very free and very emotional. And she teaches me all the time about how people should be emotionally. Like she's really, really, she knows how to, she has this emotional intelligence in a way that I didn't see. My son is very intellectual. So he's more into the mind. He's an author. He's writing, reading a lot of books and writing things. And it's really interesting. And my husband, it's always good to have my husband with me for many reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm more like, where's my wallet? Where?
Yeah.
and and he's my anchor. So I will take him for sure. So it will be a bigger table than three, but we'll have a lot of fun.
Maybe as the dinner's going to be at yours, your family be there anyway.
Yeah.
So
Good idea.
so we'll say family. We'll say family, and the two other guests. So that's amazing. So this won't be our last conversation. I know that we'll have many more, but this has been wonderful, and I've been inspired by you, what you do, and life, because I think you give life more meaning, more opportunity, and I think that be lacking for a lot of us. So thank you for the work you do, and I feel honoured to have had you on the podcast today. So you've kindly said that you would do a meditation. So I think we all will look forward to seeing what a 5 minute meditation looks like.
Yes, let's start with the posture a little bit, just to understand. If you're in a chair, a regular chair, you can move to the edge of the chair and
Okay.
spread your legs a little bit, and then move your body backward and forward. And just make sure that the weight is on the legs and not on the lower back. So if you
Okay.
move backward and forward, you can find this space, because in the meditation, you don't want the weight to be in the lower back. This is why you lean forward. If you look
Okay.
at my posture, for example, it's like this, but I'm leaning forward. Then the weight will be on the legs. So you
Okay.
can stay on the chair. Chair meditation is great as well. And
Yeah.
I think it's good for offices and everything.
Okay. It is on my leg now. It was totally on my back before.
No, by the way, I teach a lot of chair meditation because people, sit on chairs and zooming so much. So I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
The hands in meditation, the mudras is important. You can
So
use
my hand.
your hands can be one under the other, thumb touching gently, and then resting on your legs. Or some people sit the hands facing down or up. It's different kinds of meditation. It's okay to change a mudra, but not during meditation. I will explain why. Each meditation, you can change a position of your hands, but during the meditation, you want to keep the posture as is, because the hands are connected to the place in the brain that belongs to action, and you want the hands to fall asleep. So just decide how to
Okay.
use your
I
hands.
think
Usually, if people are too emotional, it's nice to sit with the hands facing down, because it's like,
yeah.
I'm controlling myself, my emotion. If people are blocked emotionally, you can sit like this. But the Zen, we sit like this. We didn't decide if you're emotional or not. So
Okay.
you sit like that.
I think I'm going to go for the hand sitting down. I'm tempted by the Zen, but I feel it feels more natural for my hands to be facing down for this particular exercise.
Okay. So you can stay like that for this meditation, and next meditation, try another mudra and see the difference. Like you know better than anybody else.
Yeah.
You can take off your glasses, you can close your eyes, and you can decide if you want to keep your eyes closed or half open, soft vision, looking down. Let the eyes decide. Chest is open, lips are closed, teeth not touching. Let's take a deep breath in and hold the breath and out. Just observe your breath. No need to control your breath. Release your belly. Relax your shoulders. If a thought is coming, not now. If a feeling is coming, not now. Coming back, moment, through the breath. We can guide ourselves. Guide when to think and when not to think. Now we decide to sit and listen to the music. Observe the sensations in the body, the feeling in your chest, in your belly, and rest in the gap between the thoughts. Everything will wait. Thoughts are like trains, and trains come and go. You're sitting on the platform. Let the train pass. Don't go on board. The platform is this moment. Are you cold or hot? You have pain in your body, your breath, the temperature, the room, the sounds, thing on the platform. Let the train pass. When you are hectic, trains overlap each other. But sometimes, when you are peaceful, there is a breathing. And soon, yeah, will grow wide. And in the gap, you will meet someone you miss. You will meet your true self with no thoughts, constantly peaceful. This meditation will give you energy and hope. It's so tiring to think too much. Sometimes we need to take a break to climb to the top of the mountain and see. Relax your shoulders even more. Listen to the music. Let the thoughts pass by. Everything will settle down. And one day You realize that in this moment, on the platform, everything is all right. Let's take a deeper breath. Then you may open your eyes.
Didn't want to open my eyes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Paul. It was a pleasure.
Didn't want to open my eyes. That was brilliant. Fantastic. So it's there for everybody else to do as well, that meditation. And yeah, everybody can reach out to you. Priya,
Hope to see you soon.
thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to more conversations. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of My Perfect Failure without my glasses on. Hope you enjoyed the meditation. And you can find me at paul@myperfectfailure.com, or you can find me via the feedback page on the website. So take care for now. Bye.
Thanks for listening to My Perfect Failure podcast. Be sure to visit www.myperfectfailure.com to join the conversation. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. Look out for our next episode.